It's a wonderful day in West Virginia. Welcome to the Daily 304 Innovators and Entrepreneurs feature. Here at the Daily 304, we are committed to sharing the wealth, beauty, opportunity, and innovation that's here in wonderful, almost heaven, West Virginia. Today, we are joined by Cooper Simmerman. He's both the founder and co-host of Mountaineer Media. They're a communications group that highlights West Virginians and encourages people to make a difference in their communities. Cooper Simmerman, welcome to Innovators and Entrepreneurs.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. We really appreciate your vision and the work that you're doing in West Virginia today. And from what we know, some of our background conversations, I know that this idea for Mountaineer Media came to you on a golf course during COVID. Give me some insight as to why it exists, what you hope to have happen, and the story of Mountaineer Media.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the story is true. CJ and I were actually meeting up. You got a picture. This is the start of the pandemic, right? So everyone's kind of freaking out a little bit. I hadn't seen CJ in maybe a few months. We're old college roommates. We decided to meet over at Cato. I grabbed some coffee from Starbucks and meet him over there. And basically, as we're there, kind of walking around Cato Golf Course, not really, super serious playing, just kind of casually chipping around, we kind of came to this idea of, wow, we want to collaborate on something, right? And we knew we both had skills, right? CJ is very much a professional journalist, right? A trained news anchor, whatnot. I've been executing on social media marketing for about 5 years within the financial service industry. So we knew we kind of had these skills in media, and it's the height of the pandemic. People were feeling isolated and separate. We wanted to bring people together. So we kind of just came up with the idea of doing a talk show, if you will, is what it started out as. We quickly realized, okay, let's do a podcast version, and let's have people on the podcast to talk about what we love. And the two things that we kind of shared in common was our love for West Virginia.
And I've noticed sometimes you use the hashtag Do Something Good WV. So there's an intrinsic community-driven force behind what you're doing. This is not your primary profession. It sounds to me more like a vocation. So tell me a little bit about that hashtag and what it means to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Do Something Good West Virginia hashtag essentially started when this is very early on, and we said, you know what, how can we not only do what we're going to do, because we're going to tell these stories, we get personal fulfillment from it, but how can we inspire others to feel like they're coming under the Mountaineer Media tent? So the Do Something Good West Virginia hashtag essentially is, hey, if you're out in your community doing something, cleaning up trash, volunteering, use this hashtag so other people can see it. So not only you can get a little bit of recognition for it, but also inspire other people to what you're up to. So we kind of symbolically started planting trees in every West Virginia county to really just have the embodiment of that mantra of the Do Something Good campaign. We followed behind a little bit on that, and one day we'll get to all 55 counties, but it's still very much a core function of our platform is to do good things, showcase the work, and be proud of where you're from.
You have an upcoming event. You want to get people together not only virtually, not only on social, not in their individual communities. Tell us a little bit about how you're going to try to bring people together at a golf course and an event to talk about West Virginia next year. How can people find out more?
We do. Yes. We're super excited about this. So, we're a digital media storytelling agency, what I like to call us, but we kind of realized that now we have this attention on our platforms. We wanted to convert this attention into real life events that actually drive dollars and revenue into local communities and promote the state. So we came up with something called the Almost Heaven Classic. Now, the Almost Heaven Classic is going to be a 2-day event next year, 2023, June 9th and 10th at Canaan Valley Resort. The first day is going to be a night of networking, guest speakers, a live podcast, West Virginia craft beer, all with the goal of getting people together, the movers and shakers of West Virginia, together in a room to celebrate one another's work. The second day is going to be an awesome golf tournament. The winners are going to win the West Virginia jacket. So it's going to be a 2-day event. If you go to mountaineermedia.org, you'll find out more information about signing up for a team. There's a few more sponsorships available. And we hope this becomes an annual thing that bounces around the state and showcases parts of West Virginia every single year.
The West Virginia jacket, I love it. You're celebrating each other more so than dividing and conquering, bringing folks together having fun, and recognizing the great things that are happening here. So what's it look like in terms of growth? Were you surprised when it happened? Like, you have a pretty large following on TikTok or Total Social, don't you?
We do. I mean, I think we're up to 30,000 folks
Wow.
on TikTok, LinkedIn, a couple thousand folks, the podcast, the website. I am a little bit surprised, I think, because I understand, I like to think I understand media to a degree. And unfortunately, what happens in West Virginia and really just human nature is that bad news sells headlines, right? Dumpster fires, palace intrigue. Those are the things that unfortunately human nature gravitates to. So when you're in the business of telling good stories and good news, you're already up against the challenging human dynamic of being drawn to bad things, right? But what we knew is that if we executed and entertained and really tried to be like a catch-all that, hey, we're not pushing this, we're not pushing that we could attract a lot of folks that are interested in just quality stories, that they're pragmatic people that are just interested in advancing West Virginia and talking about West Virginia. And we looked out, we didn't quite see that exact lane being filled, so we decided to do it. And fortunately, we've been very fortunate with the support of everyone, and it's gone well so far.
Here at Innovators and Entrepreneurs, we have a feature that we ask entrepreneurs and innovators like yourself to share a piece of advice with our listeners and our viewers, if you would. So could you tell me kind of the one thing that's kept you going in this initiative when it seems like, well, we have zero, you started with zero audience, and now you're well over 30,000. I'm certain the more we work together, you're going to be able to fill Mountaineer Field soon. So let's talk a little bit about advice and what drives you and what thing you always fall back on when you're trying to innovate, create, or be an entrepreneur in West Virginia.
Absolutely. So the first thing I'm going to lead with is actually more mindset driven. And then the second part is going to be a little bit more technical driven. Because I think if you can get the mindset down right for creators in West Virginia, then the second part is going to become pretty intuitive. So first, my underlying thesis is that I don't try to prejudge myself, judge my content, maybe my accent, or worry about what people are going to say or think, or the opinions that I have. I understand that if I'm trying to put out good energy, I'm an honest person, I'm trying to be authentic. If I live up to, we can all try our best, right? That's all we can do. If I don't worry and get caught up in my own head about that first and let that lead, I'm going to be in a pretty good spot, right? That's the first thing, that don't overthink it. And if you want to say something, put it out there. The second part of that is a little bit more technical, right? We all live in the social media world. We get updates from our aunt and our grandma on Facebook. Our work is driven, various aspects of social media. So it's a busy place, right? So what that means from a technical standpoint is that it's a game of volume and a game of consistency. We knew that most podcasts stop after 7 episodes. I think there's 4 million podcasts out there in the world, but 2/3 of them don't have more than 7 episodes. So we knew if we were consistent, we put out a large volume, we put out 20 to 30 pieces of content across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, email, newsletter, and a podcast. If we do that every single week, we keep our head down, we're going to end up in a good place. And then the last part of it is that you can always improve, right? You don't have to have super expensive equipment. When we first started out with Mountaineer Media, I had an iPad and I borrowed some broken headphones from my fiance. And for the first 6 months, that's all we had. So don't think that you need fancy equipment to get started content creating. If you have a phone, if you have Wi-Fi, you can get started.
Fabulous advice. Do the best with what you have every day, consistency, and have a great mindset. Cooper, that's excellent advice for our listeners and our viewers. And I thank you so much for joining us. We have a short format show. Please, again, tell us how is the best way to connect with you and your platform.
Yeah, again, thank you. It's been such an honor to jump on. I've been following your all's work quite a bit, so we're very much on the same mission here. The best way to find us is really anywhere on social media. We're going to be under Mountaineer Media on like all the social media that I mentioned. If you go to mountaineermedia.org, it's mountaineermedia.org. That's our website. That's our home base. You can sign up for our newsletter and find out all of our upcoming events and content right there on the website.
Cooper Simmerman, thank you so much for joining us here on the Daily 304. We are going to see you on social, and we're going to see you at that golf event next year. So thanks so much and have a great day.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Be sure to follow us on all our social media channels at The Daily 304. You can also stay up to date with all the great things happening in beautiful Almost Heaven, West Virginia by heading on over to wv.gov/daily304. Subscribe to our newsletter. Follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get information. You can find The Daily 304. We'll see you again next time.